our conversation with our Friends of White's Woods, brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Let's get them on the line here this morning. We're talking this morning with Andy Davis and Christina Ruby. Andy, Christina, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's good to have you both.
For having me.
It's our pleasure to have you on the air with us here today, talking about White's Woods and the ongoing work there instituted by White Township and Friends of White's Woods with some concerns about some timbering and some other work being done there. Christina, why don't you frame this for us so that we have an idea of what we're talking about?
So I'll just say that earlier in April, people had noticed that trees were being marked and brought this up to the township supervisors. And then since then, Friends of White's Woods, because we had some concerns about why would they be marking trees, we had no idea if there's a plan or anything to do with the woods. Friends of White's Woods have been able to obtain some of the documents that describe this ongoing work, and it appears to us to be a commercial logging operation that they have not been framing as such.
All right. Andy, weigh in on this. We had the contractor on the air with us a month or so ago, probably 2 months ago, talking about the work being done at the White Township Rec Complex and about what he had planned to do in White's Woods. So give us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. The proposed treatment or management of White's Woods is something that really appears to be similar to what's taken place at the rink. And based on what we have heard, the methodology that he plans on using is not best practice or evidence-based practice for forestry management, and that's really concerning to us. So, what we're really hoping to do is try to just slow things down, stop it, and get to the point where taxpayers, stakeholders can have a say in this, as well as experts in the fields of recreation, conservation, so that we can actually make sure that the plan for White's Woods, which is one of the true gems of Indiana County, can be taken care of properly.
Either one of you can answer this question, or both. This is not the first time that there has been a plan for White's Woods and for the management of it. Tell me your thoughts on this particular plan and what particular objections you might have to what they're planning on doing.
So, I guess I'll take this. Yeah, I know Andy's a little bit more of an expert on the history, but so this time around, it looks like one of the major issues that we have with it, and I think that the public will have with it, they're planning to take over half of the volume of trees out of the park, which, I don't know how you have something called White's Woods when you're planning on taking that much timber out of the park. So that's one of the main things. I think the last time, and I guess, Andy, you can confirm this or refute this, but I think the last time they were planning on taking about 21% of the timber from the woods, and this time we're looking at 56% of the timber from the woods. The other issue is the way in which they're framing this to the public, which is under the guise of the treatment of invasive species, and it's only going to be this 50-acre plot. The documents that we've been able to obtain suggest, not just suggest, they lay out that it's going to be done, timbering is going to be done all over the entire park. The whole park is actually divided in one of these documents in a map into 7 sections, and they are only working on the first one right now. And then the other issue that Andy brought up is, of course, their supposed methodology for invasive species treatment. is not at all evidence-based or based in conservation science, and frankly, it's inconsistent with the funding mechanism in which they use to purchase the land, which is called Project 70.
Andy?
Yeah, and I can talk more about that. One of the things that people aren't aware of, Todd, is the fact that this land was acquired in 1968 with Project 70 money. And this money that the township used to purchase it is specified that the land be used for three purposes, and those purposes are conservation, recreation, and historical preservation. So the last time, this is the third go-round, or third, I should say, attempted plan to do this. The truth is that the DCNR, because it's state money, DCNR has basically has a say in how this land is used. And the last time, in 2007, 2008, DCNR came out and said that the plan, which proposed to take approximately 20% of the timber out of the forest, was incompatible with Project 70 money or the Project 70 allocation. So consequently, we're extremely concerned about the fact that over the course of time, the plan is to take out more than half of the timber, which is far in excess of the 20%, which wasn't permitted back in 2007-2008 situation. I should also say, Todd, that what stopped this, in addition to DCNR, is that the taxpayers came out in droves last time to say that they want to say they want a plan that's proper, that's evidence-based, and that comports with Project 70.
You have, as a group, spoken with the supervisors, and I know it came up and was debated a little bit at the last Township Supervisors meeting. Describe that dialogue for us.
Yeah, I was actually there, Todd. I would say that the situation was fairly contentious but civil. We asked the township supervisors to basically stop now and get together. Let's get some experts in. Let's get stakeholders in, and we asked them if additional public comment would be possible. And after a discussion amongst the township supervisors, all 5 supervisors declined public comment. And my concern there, Todd, is that they told us that we've heard all this before. Well, in my mind, if you've heard it all before, then it's especially important for public comment. Does that seem reasonable?
Well, I'm not.
To me.
I'm not in a position to comment on it, but certainly I understand your concerns. So, that all having been the case, how would you like to see this move forward?
That's great. I can take this one, Christina, if that's good.
Sure.
So, Todd, what we'd like is for all the work related to the Nature Center to stop. We want it to stop right now. We want to get in communication with DCNR. We actually have been in communication with DCNR. We want to work with DCNR. We want to bring in some outside consultants that can help us understand the best way to approach this property and how it relates to Project 70. We want to make sure that any plan that is created abides by those ideas of recreation, conservation, and historical preservation. And in the end, after all the public comment, which probably wouldn't take more than a couple months. What we'd like is to adopt a plan that is evidence-based and is a true, holistic, comprehensive forestry stewardship plan based on science and evidence.
Less than a minute to go. Christina, you get the last word.
I do. Well, I would just like to reiterate what Andy said. I would like to see them stop this work, let us talk to the experts, let's all talk together, and let's come up with a plan that makes sense for a Project 70 funded park. And that plan needs to involve evidence and science-based practice.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much to both of you for taking the time to join us today. Andy Davis and Christina Ruby and the Friends of White's Woods. Thanks again.
Thank you for having us.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. 101.1 FM.